Marlene Fischer, Director, Research Grants Office in the Division for Research Development. And I'm joined today by Dr. Tonya Rudovsky, who is the Head Research Capacity Development and Funding in the Research Office at the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences. I'm welcome to everybody. I'm glad you could join us. It feels to me as if I'm not I'm going to tell you anything new, but I realize that some of you might be new to the university, so this might be something new to you. I would also like to thank Whitney Prince, who organized this for us and is monitoring the chat function in the back. Whitney, can you just confirm that you can hear me clearly?
I can hear you, Marlene.
Thank you, Whitney. Then just the normal arrangements, please keep your microphones switched off. And until the end when we'll allow questions. If you have a question that you think you might forget, you're welcome to put it in the chat, and we'll pick it up at the end. Okay, so let me just share my screen. Okay. Okay, everybody. I'm assuming you can see my screen. So just to get started, I would like to give some background. I'm on the research committee at Stellenbosch University and its subcommittees. So the research committee is a policy committee that reports to the Senate. But under the research committee, we have 3 subcommittees: Subcommittee A, B, and C, and they are arranged according to groupings of faculties. And there's also the committee for Central Analytical Facility, which is a governing body. So, what are the responsibilities of the subcommittees? They advise the research committee on research policy. They do internal screening of NRF rating and Tutuka applications. They also screen Consolidoc applications. And then the reason why we're here today is they allocate central research funding. So let's start with Subcommittee A. This is the Committee for the Faculties of Arts and Social Sciences, Education, Law, Theology, Economic and Management Sciences, and Military Science. So this committee funds you might have heard of the SOS funds or the SSS funds. This is the special support scheme, which is a publication incentive. And what I've put there next to the funding instrument is the percentage of the committee's funding that was allocated to this funding stream in 2021. So the publication incentive is currently at 10% of the research output subsidy as determined the previous year. So in 2021, it was just over 12,000 rand. Then, and this committee also funds newly appointed staff members for 1 year. And they provide co-funding for to applications. And I mean, I say applications, not grants, because if the committee decides to support an application and it's not successful, if we still provide the co-funding for 1 year as seed funding. And then this committee also funds the doctoral studies of staff members who are not eligible for the TUCA funding. Then they also fund postdoc fellowships for 2 years, and they top up postdocs were funded from other sources up to a maximum of 70,000 rand, depending on the value of the bank grant. So we'll top up to 230,000 rand to make the total to 230. Then the committee also funds a few consolidocs and also book publication costs, and this is for books that under the research outputs that have been written but must now just be produced. Okay. That's Subcommittee A. In Subcommittee B, which are for the faculties of science, agri-sciences, engineering, also funds SOS funding at 10% of the subsidy amount. Then also project funding for new staff members and emerging researchers who are not eligible for TUCA. And they co-fund TUCA as in the same way as Subcommittee A. They also fund postdoc fellowships, and from this year, they took it up to 270,000 rand per year, and a few consolidocs. Now, I always get a lot of questions about the SOS funding, on why is it only at 10% and why hasn't it increased, because it's not a lot of funding. So just a brief explanation is that the research fund is in the budget model. It's regarded in the same way as a normal funding for a support service. So it only increases by the normal inflation rate as applied by the university. So if you look at the rate columns, it goes up just a little bit each year. But then, if you look at the income that university gets from subsidy outputs, it keeps on going each year and far outgrows the inflation rate. So the funding that comes back to the committees is in real terms decreasing. So as you would have seen in Subcommittee A that 70% of the 2021 budget was allocated to SAS funds, and that is not decreasing. Now, just should you want more information on Subcommittee A and B funding, you can have a look on our webpage. The application forms are there, the guidelines are there. Just eligibility is for full-time permanent staff members, and also for longer-term contract appointments. And the contact person there is Shannon Flora. So I'm now going to give over to Tonya to take over. I'm just going to allow her to take over, and she'll talk about Subcommittee C.
Thank you, Marlene. Good afternoon, everyone. Nice to be here, and thank you for inviting me to co-present today. So Marlene already sketched the scenario of the funding restriction, which is a reality also for Subcommittee C at the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences. But I can share with you today we have 8 different funding streams that we can afford from Subcommittee C. The first one is research assistance funding, which makes up 6% of the budget, and that's for full-time staff to appoint someone on a 4-year full-time contract, and we contribute co-funding towards a salary of 100,000 Rand a year for 4 years of the contract. Then a very popular mechanism is our temporary research assistance funding, which makes up almost 10% of the Subcommittee C budget. And that is also for full-time staff in the faculty to apply for people, helping them with their research in an ad hoc manner, where they can pay them at an hourly rate, depending on the level of the person that they appoint as a temporary research assistant. We have a small contribution going towards lecturer placement fund, and that is for the lecturer heavy burdened allied health sciences lecturers who can then appoint someone and pay someone from this fund to at least buy out time for 1 or 2 modules a semester or in the year, also to give them slightly more time to free up time to do their research activities. Then we also have the postdoctoral fellowship category. Although it's fairly little, faculty management does add some funding towards postdoctoral fellowships in the faculty from a strategic source. So this is not all of representing all of the postdocs in the faculty, and we contribute 200,000 Rand per year, and it's for a 2-year cycle. On the right-hand side of the slide, you will see my colleague Tashwil De Wet. I just added his contact details. He's the go-to person who manages and administers all of these funds. And you're welcome, of course, to contact me should you have a question too. Right, now I must just advance. Marlene, can you just advance the slide for me? I can't seem to be doing that. Right, so we contribute quite a lot towards early career researchers from Subcommittee C's budget. And if you were thinking why we have decided on these 8 streams, partly it's because of the research committee policy, but also it is the committee themselves who decide how best to apply the research funding we do get from the Central Research Fund. So, and this committee is represented by all the departments in the faculty. So we have 13% going towards the Early Career Research Fund, where we define early career staff in this case as someone within 5 years post-PhD, or if it's a clinician, it is within 10 years after the MEd or the College Medicines of South Africa examination. And this is meant to be seed funding. We at the moment provide 90,000 Rand for 1 year, and that should enable a researcher to get off the ground with a project, create some data, and to apply nationally and internationally. We also contribute to the Tutuka co-funding, and we cap that at 50,000 Rand per year. So you are familiar with the Tutuka Fund. And then we also channel a proportion to undergraduate and honours degree research projects, as well as conference presentations by them and publication incentives. And the contact person for this, the head of the Undergraduate Research Support Office, is Dr. Debbie Marie. Like the other committees, we also have to support the publication output. And the committee strategically decided about 2 years ago that they want to cap the amount that we can contribute to the SSS or the SOS funds, not more than 50% of the budget, which it currently stands at, and rather to adapt the amount so that we have more other funding available for these other strategic streams. Then we also have a number of non-subcommittee C research funding support streams, and I'm highlighting the top 3 ones here for you today. The first, we have a scientific travel fund, and I'm giving you figures of how many awards we made, and since there was a huge dip, especially in 2020, and it's starting to recover due to COVID, I have the 2019 figures here, where we gave 143 awards. So that's for any staff or any level of postgraduate student or postdoctoral fellow that can apply to attend, or even for registration fee for virtual conferences, and where they can get up to 20,000 Rand for such a visit, which is usually also then considered co-funding. So training visits, research training visits to learn specialized skills is included in here. And for national conferences, we fund up to 7,000 Rand. We have linked to this a publication incentive fund, both of the scientific travel and the publication incentive. We have 3 calls a year where we deal with the batches and make the awards. So we had 197 awards during 2021, and that is for especially students, PhD, masters, postdoctoral fellows, who are first author on a paper, and then likewise first author for early career research staff. And in this case, we define early career as 10 or less publications to date. Doesn't matter whether it's first author or not. So we provide 5,000 Rand publication incentive per research output, not the unit, but the actual article. And then supervisors can get a small token of appreciation of 2,000 Rand if their student is first author for such a publication. Then one of the big external funds that we administer in the faculty is the Harry Crossley Foundation Research Grant Funding. And I just want to alert you to, this is very different to the Harry Crossley Bursary Fund that is administered centrally through the Postgraduate Office. So this one is particularly ring-fenced for postgraduate students, master's and doctoral level, and for postdoctoral fellows within our Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences. And you can see the differential amounts that they can apply up to. We had 94 awardees during 2021, but the Harry Crossley Foundation trustees asked us to change a few things and make more funding available per applicant. So that decreased our number to 2022. We have around 40 awardees for the year, but they are better funded. So it's a highly competitive funding source, as competitive as national and international grants, basically. Then Malene, the last slide is just where I'm sharing with you our short URL, where where you can find all of these funding opportunities and more that I spoke about. It's RDS funding for research development support funding, where we distribute and redistribute DRD, national, international, internal call notifications that are relevant to our faculty, staff and students. And one click away, our people can see the closing dates of our internal funds also in the faculty on our website. So please reach out to us or go visit our website for more information. Thanks, Millian.
Thank you, Tonya. Then I would just like to end of, well, I'll explain Consolidocs now. I saw a question on it. We do get a little bit of discretionary funding from a DVC and research innovation and postgraduate studies also for the DRD travel grant, which has two components. It's research visits for issue staff to travel abroad to do research, and then also to host an international researcher, and then also funding to present at an international conference abroad. The funding, it's always just co-funding, because we only fund 50% of the total budget, and up to 17,000 rand. And this year we had a call earlier this year, and the good news is that we've got a bit of funding left, so you can expect a second call probably in June. And the contact person there is Dominique Meyer. Now, Consolidocs is an opportunity for a PhD student to consolidate their doctoral degrees. So basically, to make sure that the final papers are written and published. So it's funding for up to 6 months, and the DVC funds about 15 each year, and the Subcommittee A and B also add a few, and the contact person there is Dr. Ampalesa Mutapu. She's head of our postdoc office. And then our division also manages funding from the HB and MG Tom Trust for study leave. The study leave must be at least 3 months. Also for staff members only, and at least one of our grants must be for somebody doing research in history. So, but it can be the history of any field, and the maximum amount there is 80,000 rand. I mean, again, the contact person is Dominique Meyer. Yes. So this is very short, because we don't have a lot of funding available. That's the sad part of it. But at least there are actually funding opportunities available. Please, as you saw now, the faculties also fund a few things, like you saw now what medicine and health sciences fund. but also if you're in another faculty, talk to your dean or faculty manager about funding, especially travel funds as well. So that's that from us. So now we have time for questions. I see a hand.
Ameline, yes, it's Zuhair here. My question is for some of us who may be a little bit longer in the tooth, that have been at the university for a longer time. Are there any university-funded schemes where a person like I might apply for self-initiated research projects?
Unfortunately, I'm not the subcommittees. I'm used to have funding for. I'm like that, but then I saw that the SOS funding is taking over, and they decided to rather put the money in SOS funding than and then funding. I'm just a few very small grants.
Define very small in terms of money.
When we stopped funding these projects, it would have been about 30,000 rand per year, and the competition would have been just too much. So and the thing is, we can either decrease SOS funding and start funding projects again, or continue keeping the SOS funding at the current amount, and that's our choice. We did try to convince the university management to link the size of the research fund to research outputs, but they came back after about 5 years of talking to them and submitting things to say that the budget model of the university doesn't work in that way. So we're stuck, basically.
Thanks, Marlene, and I'm glad it only took 5 years.
Okay. I see another hand.
Yes, thank you so much, Marlene and Tanya. This was indeed informative. I was 5 minutes late, so I apologize if I ask something that was covered. But I wanted to know, what is the difference between the SSS or SOS funding and the publication incentive? Is it that the SSS is awarded automatically if you published, and the publication incentive, you need to apply for that?
Tanya, you can maybe respond, because this is health sciences.
Yeah, those are definitely two different streams. So for all of our funds, we have a competitive application process. Well, it's not really competitive. You have to tick all the criteria for publication incentives, but that is on top of the automatic manner in which the S funds get channeled to the SCOS center of each division or department based on the outputs of the previous year. So individuals, so that money goes to the department for discretionary use, and approval by the HOD. So that could be used towards anything. There is a policy that guides how the money should be used, but we know many of the heads are very careful about the money, and use it towards publication costs and things like that. The publication incentives, however, that is for individuals and for students and for early career researchers to apply to us for that fund. And for students, we can pay it out into the student account if they wish. And for researchers, we pay it out into a research cost center. And they can use that funding towards anything of their liking. So I hope it clarifies it. It's two different ones, but you have to apply for the publication incentives. That's not automatic like the S funds.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. It does provide clarity. Just one final question on SSS and SOS. So the 8,000 rands per publication or per unit applies irrespective of whether this is for UI first author or third author or last author, as long as you've had a publication in a accredited journal by the DHET, it will automatically be apportioned to your department.
That's correct, and that is what and why it's so important to support the contact and persons in your department and when they do the annual survey of publications, because we only fund those publications or research outputs and that was submitted to DHET and approved by them.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Reinhold.
Hi, thanks for your presentation. I just have two questions. One question I had was this Consolidocs application. If we have, like, for instance, a master's student who, from their thesis, we think could produce a publication from that, could we also encourage them to apply for it? So it's only for
only PhD students. Yeah.
Okay. And my second question is just that it was the first time I ever heard of this MJ Trust award. I think it was the last slide that you had there. Could you just repeat what that's for and how we can apply for that?
So that's for study leave. We send out the call towards the end of each year. And it's in for funding of a research visit in the next year. So you can have a look out for that probably October and November around. We should send it out.
Could we also use it as like co-funding? Like, for instance, if we applied for a fellowship to do research internationally, could we also apply for the MJ Trust?
Yes, because the 80,000 rand will probably not be enough. So yeah, yes, please do that. We always encourage leveraging of funds. Where it's possible, it's only the postdoc grants come, the full postdoc grants come cannot be held at the same time as another postdoc grant, and it's the staff member, so the host that must apply for that funding.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any questions in the chat that we haven't responded to yet? George. I saw your question on new staff members. New staff members have to apply within the first 12 months of being appointed. So that's for the first year you're regarded as new.
Marlene, there's a question from Dr. Ewers. He wants to know, does Subcom A also define early career applicants as less than 10 articles to date?
So, I'm sorry.
Does Subcom A also define early career applicants as less than 10 articles to date?
No. Early career is within the first 5 years of the PhD.
Another one from him. Is the number of publications to date a determining factor for success in your application at Subcom A?
No, no. The committee members are your peers, and they will they will only be concerned if you didn't publish at all in the last few years, or yeah. So no, we don't count a number of publications in Subcommittee A. Definitely not. Okay. Are there any other questions? Okay. Well, again, thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Whitney, and thank you, everybody for joining us. Whitney will be sharing this recording and the slides with you. You're welcome to email us if there are any other questions that you think about later. And yes, have a good day and a good week, and good luck with for your students. I'm starting exams next week. Okay.